I really think a lot depends on your parenting style. And I don't like to label parenting styles, but let's say you're the type of parent that's like, you always have your eye, on your child. You don't look away, and you don't have other children pulling you away. You're probably going to need to do less. But if you have lots of little ones under a certain age, constant distractions, you're probably going to want to do a little more, because who wants to be running over the steps every 2 seconds to take their child off the steps and say, no steps, no climbing. Like, you really want to think about making things functional. And then functional is different whether you have 1 child or 7 kids or whatever your scenario might be. And the home would indicate that as well. Some homes are all 1 level. There's less that we need to be worried about. Some are 4-level walk-ups, and there's a little bit more that we need to be worried about. So the things that I would definitely look at is furniture. That's a really big, we don't want any tip over accidents, which tend to be pretty tragic. So I would think about getting your furniture anchored, and it's not something that all of us can do necessarily ourselves, depending on the furniture or your walls. But there are, I don't know about in your area, but in our area, there are people that can come and do that for you. Most furniture comes with the anchoring kit so that you can anchor the wall. That's a really big thing to think about, because as soon as they can start climbing, they're going to think about using those dressers and ladders. And then definitely stairway gates. And usually you want these to be installed, not pressure, especially if they're at the top of a stairway. You don't want to use the pressure option to install it and your child pushes it over, or your dog knocks it down, or whatever. So installed gates at the tops of stairs, also at the bottoms of stairs, some sort of gate, just so that you don't have to be pulling them away constantly. Some stairways are really tricky to, there might be a railing where you can't screw into it or whatever. So again, there are people that kind of custom fit these areas to make it really nice and safe. I would also look at railings if there's big spaces. You might need, for example, there's acrylic sheeting that you could just close in the hole. It's clear, you aren't going to notice it, but it makes sure that your baby can't get into the railing. Or some people have, hallways and those rails that go across, but your child could fall through and down to the lower level. So you're going to need to think about some sort of sheeting for that too. So I think the easiest thing to do is get down on your baby's level. Let's pretend you're a crawling baby. Literally crawl around and look for what might be a hazard. But the stairs and the furniture and the railways are going to be the biggest things. And then I would think about toxic products. So you can either put latches on every single cabinet in your house, or you could say that's ridiculous and I don't want to do that. So let's gather up all the products that might be dangerous and put them in 1 or 2 cabinets that we put latches on. So we don't have to, and then the other ones, maybe it's Tupperware, and if they go in there, that's no big deal. And
that's
maybe
no problem.
Maybe you have a cabinet on purpose that they're allowed to go into. So it cuts down on like the obsession with getting into the cabinets. I would think about gathering up all those coin batteries or button batteries. That's a big thing now. If one of those accidentally gets swallowed, it's super, super, super dangerous. So keep batteries somewhere really, really safe.
Interesting. Okay.
And then just think about water, whether it's obviously if it's a pool, we know we need some safety surrounding that, but even just like you want your bathroom to be secure in some way, whether you are, putting a toilet lock on your toilet or not. Maybe you're just closing and locking the bathroom door so you don't have to deal with it, but you don't want your child to have access to water, even if it's something as simple as the toilet bowl. And yes, they will eventually discover the toilet bowl. Oh, and never, if your baby's in a tub or any kind of a sink where you're cleaning them, whatever, I would put your phone, like you don't want to grab your phone for a second because you got a notification. And in that second, something happens. So maybe before you even start to bathe your baby, you put your phone somewhere else, you silence it, and you don't go back and pick it up until they're out and safe and dry.